Hey, good morning, and welcome back to Talk a Better Politics Morning Talk. I have two stories for you today. The first one is just a little throwaway, kind of I wouldn't say a feel good, but it's a much happier. I don't know. I can't even say it's happier. It's a story that's not as grim as the next one. So first is Trump opens up about the president's plans for a third term. And it is kind of happy. Starts off, Trump has opened up about her grandfather's alleged plans to run for a third term, suggesting a lot can happen until 2028. But does mention that she revealed that her grandfather has no plans to run again. However, she didn't completely shut down the rumors of an unprecedented third term, but, and good morning, Pinky. Noting here that the election's still three years away. I don't think he will personally. I think he'll more or less try to do the other thing he's been talking about lately, which is cancel elections, which that would be fun. Cancel elections so we could just continue to try to be a dictator, which is his whole plan. That's why he wants to start wars in other countries, because as long as there's wars going on, he can try to say, oh, well, we can't have elections. We're in the middle of wars. Scummy little tactic, but possibly could work because Democrats won't do anything about it. They'll just let it go because they'll write some strongly worded letter and then walk away and complain in front of the camera saying, yep, we don't agree with it either. We're not going to do anything, but we don't agree with it because they're absolutely useless. Useless party. It's great to have them. Fantastic. But yeah, sadly, this story was from Logan Paul and his podcast, whatever the hell it's called. Impulsive podcast or Impulsive. So dumb. So dumb. I want the Paul brothers to go away. Anyways, that was just a dumb little story. Main story. So first, I want to share a definition with everyone. Let's see if it lets me do it. I got to share the entire screen. Okay. Let's see if I can make that bigger. And zoom in a little bit. Okay, terrorist. A person who uses unlawful violence and intimidation, especially against civilians, in the pursuit of political aims. A good description of what that would be is ICE, because that is what ICE does during this administration. Yes, ICE was funded heavily during Obama and during Biden. But they weren't used as a terrorist cell in America. And that's currently what we have. Especially with yesterday's events, which everybody's been talking about, where ICE agent fatally shoots woman in Minneapolis. I saw her name yesterday. It's Rachel Good or Raquel Good. I know her last name's Good. So everybody started a chant of, stop ICE for good, which I like that. It's good. But yeah, so this ICE agent, as Chrissy Nome says, he used his training, the excellent training to get, to stop the perpetrator. When really, if you watch the video in slow motion, before the car starts moving forward, this guy's already drawing his gun. He has stepped clear of the car. And then once it starts to move, he starts leaning in front of it and then extends out of his way to shoot the lady. Because he didn't have the intent of stopping a crime. He had, I get to murder someone now on his mind. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about that. Watch the video. I've watched it probably 30, 40 times yesterday. He had nothing but the intent of, I get to kill someone now on his mind. The dude is absolutely a murderer. That's just what happened. He fired defensive shots. Yeah. Yeah, no, ICE needs to get out of these places. The mayor of Minneapolis even says, ICE, you need to get the fuck out of our city. Nobody wants them in their city because all they're doing is killing people, harassing people. They are a terrorist cell, especially under the dictatorship of Donald Trump and Kristi Noem, they are just a terrorist cell. Their leader is a person who killed a puppy because she sucked at training dogs. Like, this is disgusting. This whole administration, everything they do is disgusting. And there's people out there who support this ICE agent. And if you do support this ICE agent, you are a scumbag as well. You're no better than them. If you're not seeing the fact that what he did was wrong in every way, he had no justification to shoot her, you are a scumbag. There's no defense of it. It's like celebrating Trump wanting to take over Greenland and Mexico and Canada and everywhere else that he wants to take over. You are a scumbag. These are sovereign countries. They do not need to be under the control of the U.S. Greenland in no way, for no reason at all, especially not national security, despite what that bald vampire fuck wants to say, needs to be part of the U.S. There is no excuse for it. It does not do national security. It provides nothing for us. We're already out there. It's just a lie. We want their resources, and we want to fuck over another country. These little dick bastards want to pull down their pants and whip out their little Peters like, oh, look at this. Oh, I'm big. And that's what they're doing. And that's what they have their ICE agents doing. Micro dick bastards thinking they're big, powerful, tough man. We're the law. It's like literally they watched a bunch of Sylvester Stallone movies and they're now saying, I'm the law. You're not. You're not. They're terrorists. They are Nazis. That's what it comes down to. ICE is a Nazi organization and a terrorist cell stuck here in America. Besides this disgusting act that happened, I pulled up a couple other things of terrible situations that they did, like this. They told everybody you cannot cross the line. And then an agent reaches over and pulls a lady across the line just so they could beat and arrest her. That's what they do. There we go. He pulls her over, and now they're all going to grab and arrest her because she crossed the line. Yeah, they are scumbags. Absolute scumbags. We have this where they're dragging a pregnant woman across the ground in snow. Yeah. Yeah. Several people have died in detention. Like, a lot of people have died because the conditions they put them in, they pack them in little rooms. Like a cell that should hold like maybe 5 people, they have about 15 to 25 people in it, having to sleep basically side by side. They can't really move around much, and they don't give them the proper food. They don't give them proper water. They don't give them proper medical care, and they die. If you have medications you're supposed to take daily, guarantee they are not giving them to you. If you have a family member who's locked up like this, they will do everything in their power to make sure you cannot get money to them so they could buy stuff. They will not give you any information on them. They will make sure that that person dies in their care because that's what ICE does. They are not good people at all. Yeah, they've been destroying Minneapolis. This is another Minneapolis case. Reason we have not been doing anything about it. It's because we've been reaching out to the Democrats to do something about it, and they're writing strongly worded letters. Are they sending these strongly worded letters? We have no clue. But we have nobody to help us get this information. We have useless bastards on the Democratic Party. There's a few good people, but they don't have any position of actual power to help. If we had someone like Jasmine Crockett or AOC in a position where they could do more to get the answers, we'd probably be moving on with life. We would be getting stuff done. But we don't. We don't have anybody who's worth a damn. Yeah, we have Jim Jeffries, or not, is it Jim Jeffries? No, that's the comedian. Jeffries, that's his last name. I can't remember what his first name is right now. And then we have old man with glasses that fall. That wants to tell jokes that aren't even funny. It's sad. A fun little stat in between the videos is 5% of people detained by ICE have violent convictions. 73% have no convictions at all. So while they're out there telling us, oh yeah, we're just getting the worst of the worst, the criminals, the vast majority of people they're going after, they have no criminal convictions. They're not criminals at all. You can say, well, they crossed the border illegally. Yeah, that's not a federal crime. That's a little slap on the wrist. That's not a big crime that they're trying to make it out to be. If you believe the Republicans when they say that, you're dumb. You fell for a lie. Yeah, nearly 3 in 4 have no criminal convictions. Nearly half had no criminal conviction or even any pending criminal charges. Only 8% had a violent or property criminal conviction. Only 5% had a violent criminal conviction. A majority of criminal convictions had vice, immigration, or traffic convictions. A majority of criminal convictions had vice, immigration, or... I feel like they wrote that last sentence wrong. A majority had no convictions whatsoever. Yeah, they're missing a word there. Absolutely. But yeah, here's the pie chart for people who don't understand words. Innocent people. And this is the part they should be going after. They're going after the whole thing when that's all they should be going after. And I think this includes, one of these is property as well. Yeah, property. So, I mean, if you want to go after them for property damages, but that's the real only one you should be going after. But nope, anything that falls in any category, they're going after if your skin is not white. Or in the case of Miss Good, even if you're white, they'll shoot you in the face. They're great people. Here's another upsetting video of an ICE agent who thinks he's the most powerful person in the world. He touched her twice. She moved his hands away. And then he gets upset and tackles her to the ground in front of a bunch of people and then yells at her. Yep. Fantastic. Yeah, that's the thing is I was looking at Reddit for this very question. This exact question. If we don't do something, then when will we? I went through a lot of Reddit boards yesterday. And people were asking that, basically that exact question. Because everybody's on there saying somebody needs to do something. Somebody needs to do something. Somebody needs to do something. And when it comes down to it, it's always somebody else needs to do something. And people would point that out and get downvoted to oblivion when they're just trying to point out the fact that maybe you should be the one to do something to make this change. Everybody's just looking at somebody else to do it. And we're not saying like, hey, maybe we should all do something. And that's what we should do. The protesters are the closest we have to people doing something. Because they're out there, they're getting in their faces. They're mostly getting arrested because they frame things like this lady who lost her First Amendment right yesterday, or I think it was yesterday. Oh, 2 days ago. She lost her First Amendment right. She was given an interview about Venezuela. And they were protesting like the whole Venezuela attack. And yeah, then cops came up and arrested her for protesting. They said, oh, she was impeding traffic because she stepped into the road at one point. Yeah, they arrested her for protesting. That's another thing that's not, there's no other way to look at that. It was purely for protesting. because you can't have people protesting the dear leader. Yeah. Yeah, and here they had the permission to be in the street. So they can't use that part. Yeah, that was just absolutely disgusting because they were criticizing Donald Trump. And the fact that what he did was a crime, even if it was a deal between him and Maduro. The way he did it was a crime. Because once a criminal, always a criminal, and that's what he is. He is the most criminal-bound person on this planet. He's destroyed the Constitution. He wipes his ass with the Constitution, and his followers eat him up like, oh yeah, he's the savior of America, of America. It's vile. It is absolutely vile. Yeah, we need millions of people to unite. These mass parades that we had, like the No Kings protests, where you have multiple cities of having like hundreds of thousands and maybe 1 million people, they all need to unite in Washington, D.C. Every single person needs to unite in Washington, D.C. That's the best way to make an example. Everybody who's against this, as that's expensive, not many people can afford it, and that's probably also part of the plan, is to keep us all from being able to unite. Plus, they would then send out the National Guard to try to shoot us, because that's something Trump's wanted to do for a while, is have the National Guard come out and shoot American citizens who are just protesting him. And yeah, maybe some of us have to die, but you know what? It's for a good cause. And it's sad to say, because our ancestors had actually fought against a person who tried to do the same things he did. And they ended up, well, depends on what you want to say. Either Hitler shot himself, or he fled, or we captured him. But yeah, a person who idolizes Hitler and wants to do his plans and uses his talking points, they're a Nazi. And Nazis need to be taken down. So that's pretty much what we need to do. We need to stand up and stop this Nazi from running our country. Good morning. I was about to say morning. Nice day for fishing. That's not the right channel. But yeah. Oh yeah, no, half the country celebrates Nazis. We have kids, the youth of this generation, they have taken to idolizing Nazis. Because Hitler was right. Hitler wasn't a bad guy. He was just misunderstood. He had a lot of right ideas. And I mean, and there's small cases where, yes, he cared about his people, at least he said he did. That was the populist nature. That's the same thing that Trump does. So it sounded like he cared about his people of Germany. If you just take that on face value, don't look any deeper than that, then yes, he was great in that sense. But if you use any brain cells past that point, you'll see he was a scumbag. He was a dictator. He was a piece of shit. Not a good guy in any way. But we lack critical thought these days, and it's sad. Yeah. Yeah, no, I mean, it's only treading when it's not their person doing it. You're only treading on them when you're, the other party. Because they've been so convinced that the other party are the bad guys. They've been brainwashed by fucktards like the ones on Fox News and OAN and Newsmax and all those other shit-ass places, that if you're not on the right, you're a bad person, which is the same thing the Nazis told their people is, hey, if you support the Jews, you're a bad person. We'll have to kill you too. Yeah. Yep. And this what popped up? What do you mean this what popped up? I'm confused. But yeah, no, we have a big issue in this country. We have the right wing that's gone full Nazi. We don't see any signs of them resisting. I mean, we've had a couple Republicans come out and go against what Trump's doing. Sadly, that was MTG, and she's no longer a figure in the party. But we need more people to speak out like she's been doing, because she's still speaking out against them. We don't have people who actually are in a seat of power speaking out against this because they're all for it. He did the perfect thing. There was Project 2025, which we all knew about. Republicans denied. We kept showing them it was fact. They're like, it's not going to happen. And what do you know? It happened. They've already completed half of Project 2025. And people still don't believe it's real, which is sad. It was a plan to destroy the country, to make it this hellhole, this Nazi hellscape. And people didn't want to believe it's real. It's real. They finally got the right person to lead it, so they had to rename it, change a couple things, and call it Project 2025. They've been planning this for decades, and they finally got their way. And it just, I don't see how anybody at this point could be, like, have a conscience of any sort, especially those who go to church, have a conscience of any sort and support Republicans. Like, you've got your shit massively twisted if you support the Republicans. One, you're not going to heaven. If that is a place, you're not going there, because all your beliefs go against what Jesus taught. Love thy neighbor, aka arrest them, beat them, and throw them in a cell so they die. That's not loving thy neighbor. That's hating people with a prejudice because you're a piece of shit. Like, massive difference there. Oh, what do we got going on here? Thomas Massey, the only one resisting. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, and we need more. Wasn't not Rand Paul. Is that his name? Rand Paul? I'm terrible with names. I think it was Rand Paul, though. Is another one that's kind of resisting, or might resist, on the edge, which is also another useless one. Who else did we have? There was a lady. I can't remember her name. There was a lady. I think she had reddish hair, but she's a Republican. She sometimes speaks hard out against Trump. I don't know if she still has a seat. I mean, MAGA might have killed her by this point. Yeah, Rand Paul should be more vocal, 100%. Yeah, the Epstein files. It was funny that they did the whole Venezuela thing the same. Well, the Venezuela thing has a couple coincidences. One, the same day that they did the Venezuela strike was the day the file was supposed to be released, which seems like that matched up perfectly. Also, it was the anniversary of when we did the strike under George H.W. Bush. When we did the same thing in another country. It was the anniversary of that. Funny how things match up perfectly. Yeah, we need the files released. Absolutely. We need them. We also need, they didn't give their explanations. They missed the date of explaining why they censored so many or redacted so much information on the files, because they were supposed to be released. And if there was any redactions, a full explanation of what was under that redaction without giving out too much information if it's personal, like if it's supposed to be kept private. But they're not going to do that because, I mean, we've already seen Trump assaulted a 13-year-old and then had the baby killed, or was present when the baby was killed, which he had the baby killed. It was his. And nothing really was said about that on major platforms. Nothing. The Republicans sure as hell won't talk about it. It was just silence. And if you tell a person who supports Republicans about that, they'll deny it till they're blue in the face. Oh, no, that was a fake document. I mean, we've already been told by Trump they're all fake documents. Michael Bay. Wow. That's crazy. Yeah, I didn't know he was wrapped up in this. But fuck him. Anybody who's wrapped up in it needs to go down for it. Shit's terrible. Shit is absolutely terrible. Yeah. But yeah. That was what I had. I want to talk about the fact that we're under Nazis, or we're under terrorists by definition. I mean, Trump himself would be considered a terrorist. He's directing people to use violence against citizens, against civilians, for political purposes. He is the head of a terrorist cell, which is ICE. And yeah, we all need to unite and do something. Every person who's against this needs to unite at once, go down to Washington, and see what happens. Because once there are going to be soldiers in the military, there are soldiers in the military who don't agree with him. They're not vocal about it anymore, because if you are vocal about it, they kick you out. That's a dishonorable discharge. You're speaking against dear leader. But even generals aren't fully for him because they understand he's a scumbag. We would have people on our side. Yes, it would basically be us fighting the U.S. military, which we're, no matter what we have, even if we had all these don't tread on me gun nuts, we would be severely underprepared to fight the U.S. military. But that's what it's probably going to end up being. We're going to have a revolutionary war, and that's sad. We're going to have to separate ourselves from the scumbags. And you'll have some of these gun nuts joining up with the military to be like, oh yeah, we got your back because you're on the right side. You're on Trump's side. He came from God. Because they have the IQ of a fucking mashed potato. Yeah. Yeah, that was that. I will be back tomorrow with more stories. Hopefully not as enraging as ICE shooting people and dragging people across the street, throwing women down, and acting like they're big tough guys when they just have micro dicks. But yeah. Yeah. Yeah, they had been accusing people in the military who are ready to retire. Yep. Yep. They want to get rid of everybody who could possibly support the people when it comes down to it. They want to have a bunch of Nazis. He wants to restart Nazi Germany, just in America. It's vile. It is absolutely vile. But yeah, I will see you guys next time or tomorrow. Thank you for showing up. And yeah, you guys take care. Have a nice day.